What has happened to the traditional gentleman? The well-dressed, well-spoken, suave individual portrayed by James Bond or in one of the Ocean's films. The heroes of today aren't who they used to be. Kids today grow up idolizing YouTubers, streamers, 15-second skit comedians in their early 20s, wearing hoodies with primary color hair. Being top of a gaming leaderboard holds more value than being top of your class academically. Men are opting for hoodies over suits, slang terms over articulate conversations, and showing an overall lack of pride in their outer health and appearance. Are we experiencing the death of the gentleman? So we think we're witnessing the death of the gentleman. The way people speak, the way they carry themselves, body language, fashion, it's all gone downhill based on what we've just seen in the intro. Me and Gary are going to discuss this now. Big thing for me, I love it. It's topical in my own life right now because of the fashion brands that I'm building. Men's fashion. There's no other word. It's shit. It's so bad.
It's in free fall, mate. Men's fashion is in free fall. If you look at any website now for men, it's the same thing. It's like oversized t-shirts, oversized hoodies. It's the trainers are all got massive soles on them. No one's really talking about men's style in the way they talk about women's style. And obviously women love to look good, but why can't men follow suit? Why do men now just want to look comfortable or feel like they're wearing something practical? We're not saying that everyone needs to wear a suit. You know, we're not saying you need to dress like you're a gangster or whatever and wear your little pocket square and a chain and stuff like Peaky Blinders. We're not Tommy Shelby, but where has it gone wrong? What's wrong with wearing a fitted t-shirt? What's wrong with wearing a nice smart jumper or a nice pair of jeans? It feels like everything is just there for men to consume. There's no real substance behind it. It's just, there's clothes, pick what you want. With women, it feels like there's substance. There's a date outfit, there's a work outfit, there's a, you know what I mean? With men, it's just wear what you like, guys. And if you really look, you can find good stuff. You know, if you look in the right places, but that stuff is massively overpriced as well now, because it's such a niche market. And I understand that men obviously don't want to spend a shitload of money on clothes, but also you can still find, balling on a budget, right? You can still find good stuff in certain places, but it feels like men just don't want to look. I don't know whether they have an identity crisis or whether they just feel like they are a little bit lost or brushed to the side in comparison to women's fashion. I'm not sure, but something has gone wrong along the way, and that's what we're going to talk about.
I mean, I see in this building, when you like sit downstairs, you see so many women walking past, like long camel coat, obviously cost about £800 plus, you know, looks unbelievable. And then the guys come past, pajamas, dressing gowns,
Crocs,
Crocs, baggy t-shirt. You know, or the suit from work that just looks like they've just grabbed it off the shelf. And it's a shame because it's like, people don't realize, like me and Gary in our 30s, we're older, the power of dressing well as a man, the power of having like a fitted outfit and having a good body underneath that and looking well groomed. People move out the way for you. People go, excuse me, sir, can I help you with, like, it's crazy.
It is. It really is, mate. I mean, it's funny because I'm sitting here in quite a baggy jumper now, but if I stand up, it fits me.
Yeah, mate, it looks great.
And you know, the jeans fit me nice, the boots fit me nice. Same for you, mate. We're basically matching.
Oh, I know. Yeah, we
don't plan these things, by the way.
We are actually matching.
If you've seen the other videos, we're not wearing the same outfit. Today's an exception, though. But yeah, mate, I do agree. If you have that, it's that you're like the red herring, aren't you? You know what I mean? You stand out in a line of guys. It's like, oh, who's that guy? Why is he wearing that long coat, that nice fitted coat? Why is he wearing that? And like I say, you don't have to go to a tailor to find your style. You don't have to spend tons of money, but it's just, I think the main thing, what I said earlier, is the identity for men. It's who am I? I think a lot of men are so lost and they don't know how that is represented through fashion and style and how to dress well for their shape.
Where do you think that's coming from? Where people, pride's gone. Male pride's gone.
Yeah.
Like for me, I get up in the morning and I go, I want to look my best. I want to dress well. I think about my outfits. If I need a t-shirt, because most t-shirts, right, you get them off the shelf, you wear them once, you wash them and it shrinks.
Yeah,
it doesn't
fall
fit.
apart.
When you're an in-shape guy, they don't fit. They're for fat dudes because the belly stretches it out like a great arse on a woman. It stretches it out and it makes it fit better. And it's like if you are straight up and down, it just gets baggy in the back. It doesn't look good.
Yeah.
And for me, it's personal pride. I go and buy another one. But there's so many guys out there that they don't give a shit. And you just go, what's going on? Why do you not care anymore? What's done that? Is it society? Is it... I mean, I don't want to blame porn for everything, but if you've got women on tap, you don't have a big desire. You've got entertainment on tap in the house. You don't have a big desire to dress up. It would be the same way, like a lot of rich guys just dress like shit. They just wear the same thing because they've had everything they've ever wanted. So they've just gone, why care? Why bother? And they can get whatever they want as well. It's the other end of the scale of that, where it's like, I already have everything I ever want from home. I don't need to push it to another level. Like there's a video I'm making soon, which is going to be Burn the Boats, so look out for that, guys. It's going to be a good one. But it's going to be regarding like, if you don't watch porn, you don't masturbate, you have no option but to speak to women. Do you know what I mean? Like things like that.
Yeah.
It's like when you just when you don't have entertainment in the house, you don't have a TV, you don't have whatever it might be, you have no choice but to go out, to read a book, to study a language, because you're going to drive yourself nuts. So it's like you burn the boats and then you go from there. And when it comes to modern day men's fashion, you're just like, is that the problem, that it's too easy to get what fashion would give you? You can go on a Skype call and have no trousers on if you wanted to. Nobody would know.
Yeah.
Whereas back in the day, you had to dress good. Like to get a loan now, to get a loan for a business or something like that, or to raise finance, you can go on Kickstarter and just pitch an idea. If you wanted money back in the day, you put on a suit, 3-piece suit, you went into the bank, you polished your shoes, went into the bank, looked the guy in the eye, shook his hand and said, I'm trying to get a loan for my business. And you had to communicate and pitch it. Whereas now you can apply online, tick some boxes, and they go, yeah, certainly, sir. And you're like, you don't know who you're investing in. You don't know who your money's going towards as an individual. Yeah, you look good on paper, but what's their work ethic?
Yeah.
And maybe it comes from that. Maybe it's a cultural thing, but I don't see any guys dressing well.
They're hard to find.
Yeah.
They're hard to find. Unless you go to high-level establishments, you go to the West End of London, maybe.
Yeah, that's true.
They are rare nowadays. And it's very easy to notice when someone dresses well because everyone just kind of blends in. It's like the scene from The Matrix with the woman in the red dress.
Yeah.
She just stands out, and
everyone's in a suit.
Everyone else is monochromatic.
Yeah.
Walking past, and then Morpheus says to Neo about the woman in the red dress, and that's what it's like with the guy now. You see a guy in a nice long coat with a nice pair of boots on, and he's well groomed. You're like, he takes care of himself because every other guy's wearing a hoodie or a t-shirt that doesn't fit him or whatever.
That's what it is.
It's an interesting topic, mate. When you say about the identity stuff, where it's gone wrong, that's something we've got to explore because I don't know the answer to that. I don't know, maybe you guys do, I'm not sure, but there's so many little different tapestries, threads of the tapestry that you can explore and pull on and think, oh, is it this? Is it this? Porn is an interesting one because men have access to women now. If they feel like they want to, go out and get a woman, then why bother, right? Oh, no, I don't want to do it today. Even if I feel like it, I don't really need to do it. I don't really need to dress up and try and impress. I've just got beautiful women on tap of my phone.
As many as I'll ever need.
That's one thing, but then it's like, do you feel as well that maybe men have just been pushed to the side with the whole toxic masculinity movement, and men are just kind of sitting on their arse going, well, why should we try? I used to do well, and then I got kicked to the side because you said that I couldn't be masculine and I couldn't try and provide for a woman, because women obviously wanted the feminist movement, and there's obviously toxic femininity as well. Even though feminism is a good thing, it's like there's an extreme version of it, and it's the same with masculinity. But I feel with masculinity, maybe, in my opinion, it's been blown out of proportion, and the good guys that are trying to do right are just collateral damage for the guys that are just doing the wrong thing, and the red pill bullshit that we see online that men and women hate. And then that narrative is perpetuated, and then women kind of are like, well, if he's a masculine man, he must be like this, because every time I log on social media, there's a guy like that. And you look at all the guys in the Manosphere, they're very similar to that sort of narrative. Well, the top guys are anyway. Tate, Wes Watson, they're there like shouting in your face. So if women are seeing that and they're thinking, oh, if a masculine guy is like this,
I don't want a
masculine man. Yeah. And then masculine men are like, if you don't want us, why should we try? So maybe there's some truth in that. I don't know. That's literally just off the top of my head.
I heard a theory a few years ago. They said that because the 80s culture was very much like Gordon Gekko, suits, phones, business deals and whatnot, there was like a revolt. So the 90s were like that as well. And then there was a revolt in the 2000s where people were like, I'm actually going to dress like shit. And it became hoodie culture. And it was almost like a retaliation to their parents' era. Rebellion. So, millennials started dressing like shit because their parents were always get a job, get a house, settle down, get married, and it was almost rebellion. And I think the heroes of today, the Jake Pauls, the Logan Pauls, the KSIs, you know, obviously it's just one area, but the guys that people want to be like, because it used to be wear a suit because then you look like a lawyer.
Yeah.
But then Jake Paul's making 400 times more than a lawyer every month.
Yeah.
So the kids went, oh, that's who I want to look like then, because I want to be him. I want his life. That was a theory that I heard, where so people started following their fashion trends because they were like, that's what the real
That's the identity
rich
thing,
do,
isn't it?
Yeah. And guys don't realize, like, if you're Jake Paul, you get away with things that other people can't get away with. Like, I used to talk about Justin Bieber dressing like shit, and people used to say to me in videos, I bet he gets more women than you. And I was like, I bet he does, because he's Justin fucking Bieber.
Does, yeah.
But I bet I get more than the average guy on the street. You know, just guys that are walking around who are nobodies, I bet I'm in the top 1 percentile. Do you know what I mean? It's like, because I'm dressing well and people, yeah, but Bieber don't, and you're like, you don't get it. Fame is a different ball game. Fame is pre-validation. You're already up there. Do you know what I mean? It is a different ball game entirely. We can't walk around in what Bieber wears, like yellow cargo shorts and sandals, and like, and girls will be like, oh my God, he's so stylish. It's like, he can wear a bin bag and you'd love him. It's different for us. They go, yeah, but he's worth 600 million. He just landed a deal with Sony, and you're telling me that dressing like shit doesn't get you business deals? Well, it does for Justin Bieber. It's different. But it's like, if me and you walked in wearing what he wears, or what Jake Paul wears, or the rainbow braids that 6ix9ine has, it's like, we're not getting the deal.
Yeah.
You think I'm going to be able to walk into JP Morgan and go, hey guys, by the way, I'm just here in my Speedos, and I've got some flippers on, I've got a snorkel, and I'm asking for 17 million. They're going to go, security, come and get this guy. But there's guys out there that could do that, and they land a fucking rap deal because it's a quirky little image. And it's like, people have lost their minds.
Yeah.
You have to dress well. And it doesn't have to be like some boring suit and whatnot. You can have fun with it. That's what women do. They have fun with fashion. They love fashion. They love dressing up. They like trying different looks and stuff like that. You saw me earlier with the trench coats. I was trying them on, testing them out as a man. I love it.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm like styling you, looking at you, going, Gaz, I reckon it works better with your frame like this.
Yeah.
It's fun. I don't know why guys don't do it. You have to fall in love with fashion. I think budget's a big thing. Like, it happened to me when my money went up, because I was able to experiment more, fuck up more, find what I like. And then when you do buy a coat that is a high level and you put it on, you go, wow. Like, and the black coat, I've got the AlphaTauri one. I get stopped in the street all the time. People asking me, where'd you get that? Where'd you get that coat? That looks really cool. Like, every day, 5-10 times a day when I wear it. It's ridiculous. And it's like, once you feel that, I think you go, ooh, there's something here. It's almost like learning body language for the first time, holding eye contact with a woman, and she smiles and looks down, and you're like, oh my God, it's real. This is real. I think it's the same thing.
Crack the code,
Yeah, and guys, because they've never done it. And, you know, like for me, growing up in a small town, if I had worn nice stuff, people would have took the piss. So I do think there's an element of that. If you were in like a New York or London, you would see the benefit of it.
100%.
But the culture that's celebrated today is silk shirt, loafers in Dubai, or board shorts on a beach with topless. And people go, that's the life I want. Fair enough, because everyone's different. But it's like, you don't get a lot of shit done in those environments. No. When it's hot, like, if you look at the line of wealth across the world map, there's a direct line. And people go, oh, it's, you know, you've got Africa down here, and don't look at it like that. Look at it as cold, warm. It's literally a direct split of cold and warm. Cold places make money. Cold places are rich, because you get shit done when it's cold. Mate, if this was like a greenhouse right now, and it was summer and we were baking, I wouldn't want to record this video. And I think that's what's happened to a lot of guys, is they look at it and go, that's the life I want. And it's like, no, you move out there once you made the money. You take that as a holiday once you made the money. They're sat around smoking cigars, or, you know, they're chilling and having a few whiskeys and whatnot. Oh, I want that life. That's how we should live. There's no actual work being done. Oh, he's surfing. I want that life. But there's no actual work being done.
Yeah.
To get there, you need to dress the part, look the part, go to that next level. People aren't doing it.
No. I think if they're going to find any improvement in your life, I think your own personal style and identity goes a long way. And like you say, mate, you don't have to wear a suit. You don't have to get a tailor. You just have to find what you like, and that comes with trial and testing. And yeah, you can go and buy cheap stuff. Budget is a big thing, right? I don't like spending a lot of money on clothes. But I just, to be honest, I don't see the point when I can find good stuff for like a middle price.
What I've always said, body is 50% of the game.
Yeah,
if you've got a good body, 50% of the way there.
Like, I mean, you and me, we're tall, we've got a big frame. That does help, right? And I think a lot of guys do struggle with their confidence when it comes to that, because if they are out of shape and they know it, and I've been there, you know, when I was out of shape, you'd always end up buying bigger shirts because you want it to not show your gut. So you tuck it in, but then it would just be kind of flowing out the sides. It would give you like this boxy shape.
Well, skinny guys do the same.
Yeah.
I had a friend that was really skinny, and it was a boiling hot day, and he was layering up. And I was like, what are you doing? He was like, I don't want people to see my physique.
Yeah.
And then he had a shirt on, and it was a baggy shirt, and he was like, I'm trying to make, like, he was like, I'll be honest with you, I get embarrassed. And I was like, mate, why? Like, it's fine. I was like, just wear, like, express yourself. I was like, some people like that frame and whatnot. Like, always, you'd be surprised how many people go, mate, I actually think you look good.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's like, yeah, hit the gym. Like, try and make yourself look a little bit better. But, you know, give yourself that assistance. But men don't realize it's 50% body, 25% colors. And it's dampened
Colours and
colors.
tones, yeah.
I'll give you an example. I'll bring something up on screen. You get women on nights out and they'll be wearing the bright red dress. They'll wear the lime green dress. Lime green Lamborghini, we're back there again. The yellow dress, the bright blue dress, stuff like that. Men wear like navy blue, royal blue, not bright blue, not light blue. Doesn't work on men. You know, baby blue, that's a woman's thing. They got periwinkle blue. You can see how many clothes I've bought for women over the years. They have
Reminds me of Snatch from Brad Pitt when he talks about the cushions.
Was it periwinkle blue in
Periwinkle
that?
blue when he's talking to Jason Statham.
I've never noticed that.
Yeah, he says periwinkle
I never
blue.
noticed.
Scatter cushions.
Yeah, I had to buy some periwinkle blue shit for this woman once.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's all those sort of colours. But as a man, it's like forest green.
Yeah.
It's dark
Deeper
royal
colours,
blue.
yeah.
It's like a musty pink. You know, like they call it dusty pink and stuff like that. But it's like all these dampened down versions. Learn that because you don't have to go overboard. You don't have to spend a huge amount of money. And I think here's what men do. I think women go out there and they spend a little on a lot. So they go out there and they buy £10 dolly shoes, £20 t-shirt, £20 bodycon dress in 9 different colours. So they, you know, all in all, they spend like £200-300 on 50 things. We go out there and go, I need one jacket, £300. And you're like, I'm going to wear it every fucking day and it's going to make me look great. And that's kind of where we have our mindset.
Yeah.
And it's like, as long as you've got a good body and you're willing to hit those big hitters and you choose the right colours, over about a period of a year, if you keep dropping on those essential items, and then you do what I call space fillers. So you get a coat that's $300-400, you get it tailored, that's most of your budget. And then every 2-3 months or so, you just replace the t-shirts and jumpers. And you can get them from Zara for 20-30 quid. It's the big hitter and then the replacement pieces that you do on rotation. You wear them 3-4 times, they're fucked. They're all bitty, they're all falling apart and whatnot, and you've got to get rid of it. Like this is from Ralph Lauren, I think. It was like £400 jumper, and I've worn it about 1,000 times. And it still holds decent shape. It's like that chunky waffle material. It makes you look bigger and stuff like that. That lasts, but I could have easily just rotated £20 jumpers from Massimo Dutti or Zara for like the last 2-3 years. But as long as you've got the nice coat on top, nobody's going to know. Because it's unbranded. David Gandhi said that. As long as it's unbranded, nobody has any fucking idea what you're wearing. That's the name of the game.
That's a good point. That is a good point. Why do you think guys struggle with finding stuff like that? Do you think it's just lack of knowledge or lack of opportunity to find this stuff?
So I get this on my channel all the time, which is why I'm creating the men's clothing brand.
Yeah.
Because I said to guys, I'll create the best items and then I'll show you what to wear them with. So all you got to do is go on our website and just buy top to bottom, shop the look. Basically, you don't have that for men. It's shop the look for women usually, and you know that whatever you put on is going to go with whatever else you've bought from us. It's going to be pretty universal. Here's the problem when you go out onto the market. I think if you were to buy, you wanted supplements, you type in men's supplements, you're going to get a million options, and they're all going to come up, and you're just going to go, that's got 5-star review, that looks good. When it comes to fashion, it's very subjective. What I think looks good, you might not think looks good. A gay man might dress differently to how I dress. Do you know what I mean? It's like different people. What looks good on a black dude looks different on a white dude. So you go on there and you go, I have no idea. Because when we grew up as men, like you get all these options that pop up and all these different price brackets, but you can't feel the material.
Yeah.
You can't see it. You can't try it on. So you have no idea. So you don't take the risk. And I think as men, women were growing up playing dress up. They were testing things out.
Great point.
They were seeing what they would like, what they could do.
Yeah.
Their friends were having that discussion. We were discussing, who's your favorite porn star? What's your KD ratio on COD? You know, and then it was that sort of stuff. It's like, when are you free to go and play football? Did you see Man United's latest result? Hilarious. So when you get into this new world of fashion, you go, I have no fucking idea. I'm a novice. I have no idea what I'm doing. So it takes, and it did for me, you have to spend about $5,000 before you realize what's good. I made some terrible fashion choices when I first got money. And I started buying all this stuff. This look amazing. You're like, that doesn't actually suit me. I realized bold guys in polo shirts don't go. You just look like a psycho. You look like somebody who's going to try and beat someone up. Polo shirts, bold guys, do not go
Very
together.
polo shirts,
It doesn't
yeah.
work. You just look like a hooligan.
Yeah, you do, yeah.
And I was straight away, I was like, it doesn't work with my body. But then some guy with like flicky hair puts it on, looks great. And you find that out. You keep buying stuff, and then over time you go, that's my style. And it takes, with a supplement or something like that, you know, or with, I don't know, whatever else men would buy, maybe a bit of furniture, you can kind of see how it's going to look. Do you know what I mean? You can make it work. And men are shit at furniture as well, but you can make it work. You can figure something out. Maybe, you know, I think even shoes, men can kind of get away with shoes. Do you know what I mean? You can just almost see what it's going to look like. You've worn something similar. The rest of it, fashion, you just have no idea because you have no prior reference. You can't call back on, oh, remember that? Remember I said to you today, I was like, I'm wearing this outfit with the brown leather jacket because I wore it in Budapest and I've got a lot of positive comments from it. So now I know, okay, that's a good look. And I replicated the look from a woman. She had a black hat on, brown jacket, white jumper. And it was different. It was like a tight jumper where her boobs were popping out and the jacket was higher. Like obviously as a men's jacket goes lower, but her jacket was like up here. It's one of those thin little jackets that women wear, really dainty. She had like the rings on and stuff like that. And then, you know, like the hair, the hat on with like the hair's obviously tied up at the back, coming through the back. And I was like, she looks hot and she looks cool. If I replicate that, I'm probably going to look the same if I replicate it for a man. And then you're also dressing for the female gaze because she's going to go, well, I like how that outfit looks because that's how I would dress. And that was again, like that, I've got most of my fashion advice from just looking at what women wear and just going, wow, like that's a good look. I think I could pull it off, but I'll go and shop it for a man. And there's a serious trick. Men don't use that.
That's a great point, mate.
What do you think about speech? It irritates me.
Yeah, because you mentioned at the start of the video.
It irritates me, honestly.
Yeah, it's something I'm very mindful of because I said to you off camera, I use a lot of filler words, especially if I'm going on a long talk. I know we're doing a podcast. Sometimes you don't want to have dead air, so you use words like or you know, or does that make sense? And I've watched myself back and I need to work on that. And so it's something I'm always improving. But yeah, we said as well that the way people talk or the British perception of people speaking is bottle of water, that kind of language, you know. You hear the stereotype, even Americans say it, oh, you can't say your T's properly. And yeah, to a degree, there is a part of the country that talks like that and has been talking like that for a very long time. And Cockney rhyming slang we spoke about came around in the 40s to help with the war and the coding and stuff like that, so people didn't understand what was being said. Yeah. But the whole kind of Essex way of speaking and the London way of speaking, there's nothing wrong with it, but it seems to have kind of got even worse now. And it's when you hear proper Cockney talk, you understand what they're saying, they articulate, even though it does sound like the stereotypical English way. But to a foreigner, it may sound different, but to me, it sounds fine. But then you hear someone else talk who is trying to mimic that or speak in that way because maybe they've seen it on TV or whatever. And it's like, where have you got that from?
Yeah.
I've heard people speak like that who are from like the Midlands or from Northwestern.
You know the Sidemen?
Yeah.
All of them are like drill rappers.
Yeah.
The way they speak.
Yeah.
Like, I know you all went to a private school in North London.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to speak?
It's almost like they just change it to suit, I don't know, to become trendy or whatever.
I always find it weird.
It is bizarre. I don't know what the cause is, but it's obviously social, societal factors. But it does surprise me that you find people all over the country now that speak that way. Even people where you used to have strong, you know, dialects like Scouse or Geordie. You go to Newcastle now, and the Geordie accent isn't as prominent as it used to be unless you're speaking to a real local.
Yeah.
You come across tourists, obviously, and visitors and stuff like that. But when you're talking to someone who maybe lives in Newcastle or has lived there for a long time, the accent seems to have kind of diminished a little bit. And I don't know why. Maybe it is influenced from certain things or certain factors, but it just seems weird to me. And it's harder to understand people now. For people to articulate their thoughts and feelings in any conversation, it seems to become a chore.
Do you think you get more respect when you speak in a certain way, like the Queen's English, you pronunciate your words? Like people have said to me, you have a very neutral accent. I have no idea where you're from. And I'm like, that's because I've probably lived in about 8 different places.
I would say that about you.
And nobody has any idea. Like, I have no idea.
Most people say I'm from London, but I'm not originally from London. I did spend tons of my childhood there, a lot of time there. But Yeah, I live in the south. I live very close to London, so my accent isn't London, but it's a southern accent. But my dad is originally from Cheshire. He has a neutral accent, but he still says things in a northern way.
Yeah.
He still says certain phrases. So there is that part of it. There's a generational argument as well.
How do you think young kids are going to get on when they go to like job interviews?
You know what? This is what I was going to talk about the future of this. It's like, where are we heading?
And we've all seen it online as well.
Yeah.
We've seen guys go up to girls and they'll be like, "Hey, B, you with the big back," and you're like, "She's not going to turn around and go, husband, you're going to teach my kids words that don't exist. You're going to teach my kids made up words and gibberish. I want you." It's like if you go up to a woman, she could be as kids will say now, the baddest bitch, right? And she's got, she could have tattoos, she could be chewing gum, she could be straight out of a rap video. She's choosing me. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. She's choosing me over some guy that is dressed in a certain way that makes him look like, the puffer jacket, the balaclava on. She doesn't even know what your fucking face looks like, you muppet. Do you know what I mean? No, he's got 9 charges. He's been to prison 9 times. Okay, well, that's great, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's like, and plus, I guarantee I'd smash that guy's head in. That's the funny thing. You think you're like operating like a tough guy. I'm going to dress tough. I'm going to spit on the floor. I'm going to speak in a certain way where I use the word fam every other sentence. And it's like, mate, honestly, if I wanted to knock you out, I'd just drop my dick on your head. You look like a 14-year-old. You talk like a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
I can be, this is what people get confused at. I can be a very successful, well-spoken guy that can kick the fuck out of you. You can have both sides. You can do both.
Absolutely, you can.
And I've never seen why people, like some of the toughest, strongest people I know are the most well-spoken, respectable. I know a guy who's worth about 100 million. He used to row for Oxford. He's about 6'4", jacked, most well-spoken, posh guy you've ever met in your life. And if you saw him on the street, you'd think, he's nothing. He's so strong. It's ridiculous. Massively accomplished man, could dominate any room. And it's like he's an alpha male, but he speaks like somebody's from private school. And you think he was soft, and it's like he's anything but. Yeah. He's the polar opposite. And it takes you places in life, because if I speak to somebody and they are, you don't have to be posh, but if it's pronunciating their words, strong handshake, looking you in the eye, they're dressed very well, they're presentable, skin's good, stuff like that. You meet them in the gym, you're like, this guy's on that level.
Yeah.
He's somebody I can respect.
You get a vibe and an energy from them, don't you? I think the other argument as well is the elocution of people has been kind of dumbed down in a way through the education system as well. I look at the standard of education now, and a lot of it is not necessarily that the teachers are bad. I just think it's the way it's set up. I think the whole school system is an absolute fucking farce, and it scares me as a dad, because I really want to homeschool my son and my future kid. And it's like, whether that's boy or a girl, whatever, it's like, I don't want to send them into that system. They can have the best teacher in the world, but the teacher is told what to teach the kids. So that's where I'm like, the system is not there to help people thrive. It's there to give them a standard and move on. And unless you go to an exceptional educational system, like Cambridge or Oxford or
intelligence is
St Andrews, Durham, or Harvard in the States,
Yale, I'm going to beat you up.
Yeah, it's very hard to rise up, or your parents obviously raise you in that certain way. But I also think now it's just down to people being lazy and using slang terms, like fam and bruv and things like that. You hear that a lot, and it's popular. You see shows like Top Boy. That is an interesting dynamic, because that goes on in London all the time. People talk like that, but that's because of the Windrush generation of things like that. That was a massive influx in the 60s in London. And the Jamaican slang came over here, the Caribbean slang came over here, and loads of immigrants settled, got jobs, did their thing, right, raised families, and over time the slang became more and more prominent. And now it's just dumbed down. It's not even used in the right terms, a lot of it. If you get a proper Jamaican Caribbean person using that slang in context, it sounds nothing like the way these kids talk nowadays. And that blows my mind. And that's the other thing, it's societal influence as well. TV shows, generational things over the years that have kind of either got worse or got better. In this case, it's got worse. So when does it improve? When does it get better? Who's going to stand up and try and help this? situation.
People have forgotten as well what it's like I said earlier about Bieber. What happens on TV, what happens in music, doesn't translate to real life. I'm all about what translates into real life.
A lot of the time they think it does, though.
Yeah, I know. They think, oh, it's going to get, if I speak a certain way, I act a certain way, I'm going to get more women. And they're like, that's not going to happen. Number 2, nobody's going to employ you. Number 3, you're not going to be a famous rapper. Number 4, like it's not going to check out. You're not going to be Top Boy. You're not going to be some big drug dealer. Most drug dealers live with their fucking mum. There's literal stats on this. They make less than like 20 grand a year, and they live with their mum, most of them. And it's not. I don't know where people. I don't know who people celebrate anymore. Because when I was growing up, it was James Bond. It was the likes of David Gandy. I would look at somebody like Tom Ford. Yeah. Tom Ford's a gay man. He should not really be my hero. And I look at him, I'm like, Tom Ford, what a guy. Like the way he's dressed, pioneer, the way he's dressed, the way he conducts himself, the way he speaks. I used to do a good Tom Ford impression. I won't try it now, but it was quite funny. I'll do that off camera, yeah. I think it'll be an out of context thing. And, you know, you see him in New York going to like all these lavish places, enjoying his life. And I was like, I want that. He's in a tuxedo. Look how great he looks. He's up on stage doing a speech to everybody, a room of 400 people. And you're like, that's a man of accomplishment, of character, and stuff like that, of stature. Yeah. That's somebody I can replicate. I watch James Bond. I want to be him. I want his life. I want to be that masculine role model that ticks all these boxes of he dresses well. Like, how many times have I said this in videos? You know, you've got this guy, he dresses well, he speaks multiple languages, he's well groomed, like, you go through all that. People, I don't think that gets celebrated as much anymore. No. Are people tired of it? I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't think they're tired of it. I just think the role models have dwindled.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Really actually, think it's dwindled. I think when you look at the influx of social media and short form content, people aren't consuming movies as much as they did anymore because they can just get the dopamine from the short form content. Everyone's got access to it. Back in our day, we didn't have that as kids, so we would go to the cinema. We would watch these movies that were 90 minutes, 2 hours long, and we'd have role models because they had the opportunity to be role models because that was the only form of medium really that you could experience something like that. You had the internet, but you didn't have Instagram, you didn't have any popular sites that you could just consume content continuously for hours and hours and hours. It was right, we're going to sit down, we're going to watch this movie. Here's this action hero, especially from the 80s. I mean, how many were in the 80s? Like you had Jean-Claude Van Damme, Steven Seagal, Stallone, Dolph Lundgren, Arnold Schwarzenegger. All of these guys were jacked, ripped. You know, they were foreign as well. That was a bit more of an exotic vibe for the movies. You know, they were all action heroes. They were proper men. Then you have Bond as well. Bond's been around since the 60s, and he's kind of been the needle, right, for the ultimate action hero. Jason Bourne, early 2000s. And you had even like the superheroes as well, from like Superman, Christopher Reeve.
They were different.
Henry Cavill, like Henry Cavill's a slick, you know, gentleman who's absolutely jacked. He could play the next Bond. But now that's a minority. And for young kids to look up to that, that isn't going to happen anymore because they don't need to. They can get their fix from looking at these guys on their screen who are getting all the attention that we never could give to the world.
They want to be, I mean, this makes me sound like a dinosaur because he's not at the helm.
We are talking like dinosaurs.
But like Ninja, for example, when he was popular, sat there with blue hair. I'll be honest with you, looking like a cancer patient. I'm very real. I just say things as they are, and I do apologise to people. But he looked skinny as hell. He was pale as hell. That's a man who doesn't go outside and get vitamin D. That's a man who's drinking energy drinks, not water. Like, he looked fucking horrendous.
Yeah, he did,
Everybody's copying him. All the kids want to be him. And it's like, this is insane because they see how much money he's making.
Aidan Ross is another example. Aidan Ross, he was just this fat kid.
This just looks like a child.
In his room.
Just some child, really. Like, he seems like a cool guy, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, he does.
There's certain times where I've been like, he's friendly. Yeah. Like, I could sit with him and, you know, he's the type of person I think would be a good friend of somebody's. But yeah, he's not like a role model per se. It's just somebody who's created an industry, he's created a career out of an industry, done very well, made loads of money, well done. But I don't think the average guy can replicate it. Like,
Agreed,
obviously I've done YouTube. I've got people who obviously they work in like schools and people know that they know me. And they're like, I want to be a YouTuber like Chris. They always tell me the stories. And parents come to me, because I'm at that age now, and they're like, my son wants to be a YouTuber, how does he do it? And I'm like, probably not going to happen. It's probably not going to happen. Like, I'm not even a YouTuber. I have like 5, 6 other businesses. You see me working on them all the time. And I stress more on them and I focus more on them and I just occasionally make content. And it's like, that's more important. It's like when you're a kid, I want to be a footballer. It's like so tough. Like, go and get good grades, and if you don't become a footballer, then it doesn't really matter. But if you do, great, hey, bonus. You're going to get to run around a pitch and make millions. But it's like, and people say you don't have a plan B, you've got to have a plan A. Sometimes you're restricted by talent. Sometimes, like, how many kids are famous sports stars? Look at Bronny James. He shouldn't have made it. You know, how many footballers have made it? And it's like, you shouldn't have made it, but your dad or somebody connected to you. Like, I actually played with a famous England centre-back's son when I used to play football. And he was the only one that got signed on a full-time contract. And he was was he the worst player? No, but he was bottom 3. But he got signed because he was somebody's son. So it's like, it's almost, you look at Hollywood, it's everyone's son and everyone's daughter and stuff like that. Yeah. And it's like, it's
nepotism.
You can't rely on it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You can't roll the dice on that and be like, I'm going to be a streamer. It's like, you probably have to go with, and I always say this, I'm for the everyman. I'm for the 95% of us. Most of us aren't going to go down, you know, some route on YouTube and go and make 40 million on an NFT. It's not going to happen. People are different. There's only one of those guys that exist, or two of those guys that exist. I'm for the everyday guy. That's why I celebrate like Dana White. That's why I celebrate I say to people when they don't like it, be patient. Many think in decades is dangerous. Nobody wants to sit there for 10 years and do that shit. But that's what pays off. And it's the same as you have to dress well to get results. You have to speak properly to get results. You want a good paying job, you're going to have to show up in a suit and speak correctly. When I first got hired in finance, I don't have any knowledge of finance. I didn't have a degree. I didn't go to uni. They said on the results that you have to, on the cover letter, whatever it was when you first apply. I haven't done it in so long. They say, you have to have a degree, you have to have this. I showed up anyway, got the job. And they said, you're the only one who turned up in a suit and spoke correctly. And it looks like you go to the gym. And the guy said, the best salespeople I've ever met all go to the gym and they get up early. And he was like, you're the only one that gave me that vibe. I got a job in an industry I have no idea about. I then got a job working for a hedge fund, doing marketing, with no marketing degree or anything like that. But I showed up to the interview jacked with a tight shirt on, looking very good in a nice outfit because it was summer. I didn't want to dress up too much. And I just spat gold. I just said, so here's what I've done in my own business. No, don't do that. I've tried that before. That doesn't work. And he was smiling across the table at me because he was like, this is the guy. This is who we're going to hire. It just came from body language, confidence, and he kept glancing down at my arms. You could tell. It's so prehistoric. It's so barbaric. It goes a long way. Yeah, being a guy who's in shape, well-groomed. You know, have you ever heard of the halo effect?
Yeah.
The better that you look, the better people perceive you before they even know you. You know, you see a beautiful woman, you're like, oh my God, I bet she's got the nicest personality. It might be horrible, you don't know. But people put you on a pedestal when you look a certain way. I used to work with a guy who was on apprentice wage. So he was on 12 grand a year. And he used to wear the best suits. I don't know where he was getting them, but he used to wear the best suits. They were all tailored. I think his dad was doing it for him.
Probably his dad helping him.
And we'd walk around at lunchtime and I was like, I'm making 3-4 times more than this guy. But I dressed like casual. I would dress kind of semi-bummy at the time. I didn't care. And he would get so many looks off people. When we went into like a restaurant or to order food, all the attention was on him. Excuse me, yeah, what would you like, sir? Straight here. I didn't exist. And I'm probably a foot taller than him. And they would just look straight at him and go, yeah, what can we get you? I was invisible. I didn't exist. Any women walking past on the street would be staring at him. And I was like, if they knew he was making 12 grand a year, they wouldn't even look. But that's what impressions can do.
Yeah,
it's your handshake to the world. The way you look, the way you speak, the way you walk. I see guys now head down like that, walking, shuffling, scratching, itching, like, oh, they just I want to get out of here. It's like, just communicate with people. Be a human. You're not a mole rat. You don't have to rush back and watch season 9 of whatever shit show you've just started. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous.
I'm sure a lot of guys feel invisible, like you were saying. Yeah. I think they do. And sometimes it is no fault of their own, but sometimes they could put a lot more effort in as well. Like kid you just mentioned, right? His dad's obviously given him away, judging by what you said.
Yeah.
Probably the thing that was happening. So, yeah, I mean, that goes back to fatherhood as well, and like raising kids right for generations and learning how to dress. But also, there is the argument of men just not really knowing how to do it. And I think in summary, at the end of the video, like I want to ask you, because I've got my opinions, I want to ask you what you would say to these guys specifically. Like, what advice would you give? Because you mentioned about trying things out and testing things, but if some guy's there and he's only got, I don't know, 100 quid for 2 new outfits, or 100 quid for one outfit, or 50 quid for one outfit, whatever, what's he gonna do?
So this is a 2-part thing. Number one, be encouraged, guys, because nobody's doing this. So if you're the one guy that does it, you stand out.
Yeah.
It's a weapon. If nobody's doing it, nobody knows how to do it because you'll stand out. You'll be the only guy who actually dresses well. Even in London, you'll be the only one. Here's what you do. Space fillers, £20 t-shirt. I've got a £20, £30 jumper that I've worn a few times, white one, fits great. But it's body. You get yourself in shape, you look jacked, you buy those space fillers. These trousers, Massimo Dutti, they fit great. The size is brilliant. They're the best, most comfortable trousers I've ever worn. They go with everything. You can get white, black. You can get this navy blue. I think they're £35, £40.
Yeah, look good.
You can get loads of them. You get yourself one good pair of shoes, like one good pair of Chelsea boots or something like that, whether they're leather or suede. You just get one pair.
Can't go wrong with Chelsea
Make sure they're black or dark brown, and then they'll go with everything. And you get yourself one really nice coat. And all in all, you might spend £500, and then all you have to do is just keep topping up. And it's about £100 every 2 months, where you go and buy one new pair of trousers, might need one new t-shirt, might need one new jumper, because it's shrank in the wash, it doesn't hit the same as it used to, or you want to freshen it up, or you need boxers and socks. You can keep it going probably, I'd say, £600 a year. Something like that you can keep it going for, which every guy can afford. When you actually divide it down, it's pretty easy. It's like, what, £50 a month?
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty easy. So, yeah, once you've done your first 500, then it's £50 a month, and you're started. And then over time, you can add in, because if you go and buy a coat that is a banger, you keep that for 4 or 5 years. So then over the 4 or 5 years, you buy one new banger. Now suddenly your wardrobe's getting fleshed out, and now you've got 5 options as a coat to wear in 5 years. You know, the other thing I would say, complete your body transformation then.
Yeah, I agree.
Because otherwise you would spend all this money and then your body changes. I've done it. And you go, it doesn't fit. Now I feel like a moron. You know the black Bodeskins leather jacket? Doesn't fit me. Doesn't fit me anymore. £450. Doesn't fit me. I feel like an idiot. But, you know, I can give it to somebody.
You got stacked.
Yeah, exactly. It just doesn't fit. It's a medium, or it might be a medium. It might be a large. Bodeskins do it weird, where the brown jacket I've got is an extra large. I knew that because of obviously messing up with the other one. And I think that was a large, but it fits like a medium. And it's too tight, and it makes you look like Triple H. It's not what I'm going for. Well, I don't mind Triple H. Should have done it with a coffee to end. What would you say?
Yeah, if we're going back to, like, literally you're struggling to find anything that fits your budget, honestly, I'd look at 16 items, like the 16 items that everyone says, every guy says that you can rebuild your wardrobe with. So you get 2 blazers, you get probably about 5 or 6 t-shirts in different colors, and always go for simple colors. So gray, white, blue, black, and then some spares, right? So maybe a black one and a white one as a spare.
Yeah.
Then go for, like, just honestly go and get a pair of cheap jeans, cheap trousers, and just see how they feel, how they look. Find your style, like start low, and then find, like, this color looks good on me, even though the fit's shit. This color looks good. This color looks good. Or maybe you strike gold and you pair an outfit together, and you're like, oh, actually, you know, you've got a grey blazer, white shirt, black trousers, black boots. It's all cheap, but it costs you 100, 150 quid, or even less, right? If you go to H&M or Primark, whatever. Not that we're endorsing any of those, but you guys can find
Not without getting paid.
You're not without getting paid on this channel. Yeah, you guys can find your stuff just by experimenting, and that's the thing. A lot of guys will sit there and they won't know what to do, and then they'll just stop because they won't want to make a decision for fear of being judged or whatever, and then go out in an outfit and think, oh, is everyone looking at me? You know, their eyes are darting around. What does that woman think of me? And, you know, something's not fitting them well. I'm not telling you to go out and wear that stuff in public, but buy it, wear it, and return it if you want. Just try it on. Or try it on in the shop.
The store.
Go into the store and try shitloads of stuff on. ASOS do a thing where you can wear an item for 2 weeks and return it.
That's insane.
Like, that's mad. Like, as long as you don't, like, get any stains on it or wreck it or anything, keep the receipt, keep the packaging, you can return it. And that's the thing. You can experiment with this stuff. Go out in public and see how you feel. Do you feel confident? Do you feel like people are judging you? Sometimes maybe when you're changing things, you will feel like people are judging you because it's not normal for you.
Oh, well, you need to celebrate that.
Yeah.
And you need to expect it, because if you're going to dress well and you're going to walk confidently, people will look.
Of course they will.
And early on, you're like, oh, God, it's like, this is uncomfortable.
It's awkward, yeah.
And then over time, you go, that's just what people do. You get used to it.
Any phase of life, any progression,
yeah,
people are going to judge you no matter what you do.
Every time I wear a nice coat, nice outfit, I go into somewhere, somebody makes a comment. Somebody goes, oh, that's nice. Or if I'm in a shithole area, oh, here comes Nick Fury from the Marvels. And it's like, because you're wearing a long black, like, leather trench coat or something, and you're like, If I was in New York, I'd be getting celebrated for it. And it used to happen to me in my small town. Who the fuck would wear that out? Oh, you look like a prick. You look like a sports commentator, because it would be like a nice Sherpa jacket or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you'd come to London and people would stop you on the street and be like, I have to know, where'd you get that? And you're like, it's a mindset
I've
thing.
seen it, mate.
You've got to be brave enough to do it.
And you go out and it's like, can I just ask you, where'd you get that from?
Yeah.
It's mad. It's mad.
All the time.
And obviously, that's a demographic thing as well, and it's also a
well, they're buying it for their boyfriends though a lot of the time. Girls say to me like, I want to get a coat for my boyfriend for Christmas. I had that a lot before Christmas.
Yeah.
And I was like, this one's a little bit expensive, but no, I'm kidding. But like, they're like, I want my boyfriend to start dressing better. They're literally communicating that to me. It's like, that's insane.
You just ditch your boyfriend and just come.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. Why try?
I'll show you the way.
Don't polish a turd, baby. Come here.
Chris has gone red pill.
Next video of me picking up girls with the Alphatari coat. But yeah, like guys out there, just know it's rare. Nobody's doing it. That's a weapon. It's like when I said before, obesity's on the rise, and everyone's panicking. And it's a weapon. Now you're the only in shape motherfucker on the street. That's a benefit.
Yeah.
Oh, London's expensive. Well, then make the money and be the only motherfucker that can actually provide a life.
Yeah.
And then you win.
Yeah.
It's like there's benefits in hardship.
There is
massive benefits. It's like everyone's dressing like shit. You get laughed at when you do it, but you get fucking incredible results from the people that matter.
Yeah.
Go and do it, guys. Start dressing better. Death of the gentleman. Not in this house.